Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I do hope today is treating you as well as it possibly can be. Good morning, Roman Cure, Loner, Blaterbulb, Darkrai, Judo Joker, Kennex Cow, Yura, Noctis, Zactap, Lord Harriman, Offshore Twitch account, Magister, Takoida. What is up? Oh wow, those frogs are still there. So I need to go to the yellow zone, which is near Alpha Tower. I just need a divine. Okay, this has to be Alpha Tower. Oh, I'm not Offshore Twitch account. I'm dreading the next game so much I shoved it to the top of the queue to get it over with as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, yes, Zactap. 65 victories. Alright, so this does not appear to be the way. Oh, this is definitely a very good game that I actually kinda can't stand, but almost entirely on the story axis. Imagine the most depressing game that you possibly can, Judo Joker. Now make it a little bit more depressing than that, just a bit, and you've got this game. Now, I know I say that a lot, and I do, and I apologize. But let me be clear, I'm not being facetious this time around. This game is legitimately bleak. And in fact, it's actually gotten bleaker as we've been getting through it. Where is this stupid block? That's it. Is this the most depressing game I've ever played? It's definitely in the running. It's got to be this. It's the only option. Yeah, there's several. There's Papers, Please. There's This War of Mine. Or This War of Ours. Hang on one second. Yes, actually, Judo Joker. Oh, no, it's not Black Licorice. I mean, it's a great game. I mean, I stand by this score. One second. Disco Elysium. That's pretty bad, too. Disco Elysium would be up there with the other three. So we've got Colony Ship, Papers, Please, This War of Mine, and Disco Elysium. Yeah, that sounds like a good quartet. Okay, so this is the yellow zone. Where's the menu song then? GTA 4 is quite depressing, yes. Wait, is what vetoed it? Last of Us 2 wasn't depressing, it was just a bad game. Oh yeah, good point, I forgot about Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is worse than this in terms of bleakness. I would agree with that. So yeah, we'll add that to the list. We're up to 5 now of the most bleak. Yellow zone is sealed for a reason. The toxic environment will reduce your max hit points while you're exploring the yellow and red zones. High quality gear will reduce the effects. FF16 isn't even on the same radar there. I do have one hazmat suit. Okay. I would probably put Diablo 4 as the actual bleakest of those 5. Diablo 4 is the kind of bleak where death is not the end, and it gets worse after that. Which is why I'd put it a little bit further down. Like, imagine all of the horribleness of this setting, but also after you die, it keeps getting worse. That's Diablo 4. Yeah, this is... That's why I keep saying bleak or depressing. Sad games, I could get into sad games. The dark games. But bleak? I have trouble with bleak. It's okay, the next game we're playing is Silent Hill 2. Yeah, I'm extraordinarily not looking forward to that, so that's why I shoved that right at the front of the queue, just to get it over with as quickly as possible. Historical significance, Judo Joker. Okay, so we're not fighting. I'll even talk about it when we start the stream, at the very beginning of the Silent Hill 2 stream, because horror games are actually vetoed pretty much across the board. And that veto stands, by the way. But Silent Hill 2 is a historically significant game. So you win. There's your exception. You find yourself in a sprawling research complex, what would have been called a ziggurat in some forgotten age of old Earth. The work of years of dutiful terraforming engines designed to simulate Proxima's environment or to adapt Terran crops into the vegetation. Having left to its own kind of untrammeled evolution over a century, the result is like a fever dream of a mad scientist. See, Subnautica don't bother me none. But this is how we get into the definition of horror. As I've said many, many times, I don't have a problem with... oh god, what's the term? Tension, I think is what we came up with. Tension games. Ooh, a Big Mac and cheese. That sounds terrible. Dread. No, that was the word we came up with. Dread games. I actually tend to like Dread games, like Subnautica, like Metroid, Assassin's Creed dips into Dread. I don't know. There's quite a few. Just get the games right now. Fallout games, yep. So we can't get in from here. Let's see, lockpick is 10, computers is 10, so it doesn't matter which one I do. Yep, Mercenaries Playground Destruction is a very dreadful game. Yes, horror games, this is why horror games are generally vetoed. If you have to ask, 40 Hours Act. If you have to ask what a horror game is, then you're sort of missing the point, because horror is really easy to spot the moment you look at it. It's a game whose primary focus and vehicle is to be horrifying. There's usually gore, sometimes there's some kind of weird psychological stuff, sometimes there's thriller, sometimes there's jump scares, but it all boils down to the same general concept. Hey, Silent Hill 2 is a horror game. Resident Evil is not. Resident Evil is a horror game in the same way that Commando is a documentary. You could make the argument, but you'd probably be wrong. I'm not sure how to progress here. That would be awesome, to the Joker. Good point, Blade Taval. In a Dread game, like Metroid, like Subnautica, Dread isn't the primary focus. It's flavor on top of everything else. Well, we'll probably finish today, but I'm not sure. The good news is you're not bothering me. Wait! You did ask if you're bothering me, which does bother me. Two creepers are fighting over a frog that must have provoked them. The object of their tug-of-war is stretched almost to tearing, as with an obnoxious slurping sound, they drain the poor creature to a husk. The poor frog must be avenged! Attack! Is one of the options. And then we're going to sneak. Okay, so this music is a little bit too much. Alright, then there's the Metro games. I mean, those are just Eastern European games. On the plus side, there's only one game that's close to funding, that's on the list right now, that I'm still not looking forward to. Points if you can guess which one it is. It's really obvious if you glance at the list for 5 seconds. Pokemon Violet, how did you know? Yeah, it's Gothic. Gothic is correct. I am dreading the Gothic playthrough. Good news is Gothic's relatively short. No, Gothic isn't bleak. Gothic is a beloved classic. And if there's one thing that I dislike streaming more than a bleak game, it's a oh god, it's a beloved classic. Oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez, oh jeez. Okay, so reload. What am I most looking forward to that's still on the list? Oh, there's tons of games on the list I'm looking forward to. I've been trying not to think about that because it doesn't matter until, you know, I get to the point where we're actually caught up. Here, Ross. Choose one. Pokemon Violet. Damn, we need the whole party there. Okay. I've also never played Gothic, and people do nothing but absolutely praise the ever-living hell out of it. And that's always a huge warning sign for me. If you give me a second, I can tell you exactly how long Silent Hill 2 was on the list. Because I keep track of that fact. Silent Hill 2 took 908 days to get funded. So about 3 years. 2.5 years, really. For a bit of perspective, Mass Effect Andromeda took 1,146 days to get funded. Now, what else have we played recently? Stranger of Paradise took 1,011 days. Armored Core 6 took 451. Space Marine 2 took 1,079. Ratchet & Clank 1 took 1,268. Final Fantasy 16 only took 783. That's kind of impressive. Starfield Shattered Space took 3 days. Technically, the record is several of the audit runs, which I just funded with Dealer's Choice a couple years ago. In other words, the time it took was 0. However, Ace Combat X took 358 days. Henry Stickmin is on a different sheet. Henry Stickmin took 563 days. Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus. That's a game that would probably not score particularly well. Okay. Morrowind is definitely a beloved classic. I'm looking forward to that run, though. I know how to break that game in half. And it has cheats. That's cool. I'm also comfortable enough to say that Morrowind sucks, without being afraid of other people's opinions on the matter. I'm also curious of how well Morrowind will actually review. Most people tend to agree that the gameplay is but the story is fantastic, but I actually contest that a bit. This is the Snow Peak Ruins, which is the best dungeon in Zelda history, and also the best dungeon in Twilight Princess. I believe so, Ross, yeah. Atmosphere I will give you, Dream Whisperer. The reason I say the story is less good than people probably remember from Morrowind is most people, when they're thinking of Morrowind's story, are probably thinking of the MSQ. The MSQ is pretty solid in Morrowind, I'll give you that, story-wise. Now think of all the other stories in that game. You know, I'm not sure, Ross. I have this super vague memory of, like, invented Turian guy being a stand-in. Well, no, like, I'm dead serious. If you think about it, one of the most interesting parts of story in most BRPGs is what I call primary optionals, aka, you know, meat content that is intended to be optional, like guild quests, for example. The guild quests in Morrowind suck. There's no story there, really. It's go do a random mission and then go do another random mission, loot this, kill this. There's no connective tissue there. You're just kind of moving up. There are a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, it is very threadbare, and there is a lot of padding. Hello, Verlictum. I am sorry Dishonored 2 got pushed out. Yeah, killing rats is literally a faction mission in Morrowind. I'm not sure how to do this. I guess I could try to fight them, but I can kill one of these things. Never mind two. Okay. That's the goal, Verlictum. So, generally speaking, especially if the game is a certain length, I flat out refuse to do that thanks to PFR, Noctis. I understand why people would want such a thing. I'm not even complaining that people would want such a thing. But the odds of that happening are pretty low. If they donate towards a second run? It depends is always going to be the answer. This is, in fact, Mario music. I mean, I'm not going to say absolutely no. It's never happened, and I can't see any circumstance where it would happen. Wow, that AP! Yeah, but that's not multiple playthroughs, Judo Joker. I had a save right at, you know, the choice where you could choose endings. And I was so overpowered I didn't even need cheats, so I just bulldozed through each ending in like 30 minutes, and it was like, done. That's why I say it kind of depends. If you want me to, for example, replay the entirety of Colony Ship to see the other paths which do exist, the answer is no. Okay, so let's reload. This is how am I supposed to get past here? Okay. Yeah, there's a sneak option if I could get rid of the rest of my party. Maybe there's something over here that I missed. No. Yes, Three Houses pretty much mandates multiple runs because they're very different, which is why that run is so expensive. Yeah, I'm missing something. Like, I can't go through this door, I can't go through here, and I need to sneak with my entire party, which is absolutely not happening. If there's a different floor, would be my reaction to that. Listen, Aerith. Well, see, I sort of assumed that's what this was, but I can't get in there. Okay. Play pixel hunting for a little bit, shall we? So there's another fight option, which I actually already looked at. Yeah, no kidding, Dakota. This is not the first time I've run into this. I actually doubled up on the negatives for this. Because there have been a couple of times where I've just legitimately not been sure where to go. Oh man, the teleport pyramids would be great right about now. I love the teleport pyramids in DOS 2. One of the best inventions that game ever came up with. No joke. Baldur's Gate 3 is lesser for not having them. It's actually quite good. I've given several choices gameplay positives, I think. Double checking my notes. I've given no choices positives. Oh my god, Evo, how could you? You've exposed me for the fraud I am. I have no idea, Dakota. I just remember him in DOS 1 and DOS 2. In my defense, I haven't done the audit yet. Just the boring audit. I don't know what to do here. Okay. Okay, so let me talk out the problem here. Problem here is that I have to sneak through this room or kill. I don't think I'm physically capable of killing through this room. That's one of the things that killed me earlier, and that's one of the super things that killed me earlier. I can't sneak through because I have one person who's good at sneaking, and then one person who's not, one person who's not, one person who's really not, and one person who isn't anymore. No, terminal's empty. And I've run out of things to interact with. Alright, I'm gonna hit a walkthrough, because what the hell? There's no way it's forcing me into a combat encounter like this. Yeah, I came in, like, from the front door, which is right there. After inspecting the doors, you can use the console to get rid of the creepers. What? Oh, I think I know why. I think this. Oh, this is ridiculous. So check this out. So let's inspect the doors, not do anything, and then use the console. Jesus Christ! Game. The irritating thing is I hit that console twice. Just to, you know. Why, Colgan? Or whatever. Oh no, it doesn't work because we're in the fog. Anyway, so. Yeah, but I hit that console twice thinking I missed something. And both times it didn't do anything because apparently you had to use the door first and then leave, and then you could actually use the console. What's funny is I have decent toxic resistance. Oh, he has decent. Sorry, I have 50% toxic resistance. She has 70. He has 70. Oh well. Do I have a better breather? I bet I don't. That actually is better thermal and better resist toxic. So let's go and put that on instead. Now I have resist toxic. There we go. Ah, yeah, that's stuff. What about the rest of us, sir? You guys get to suck it. Enjoy those lemons. So that's how we get down. Did I ever give myself the... God, why does it keep doing that? Yeah, it just lowers your max HP. Could be much more irritating. Okay, we do have Bridge Officer selected. Yay. Just making sure, because nothing indicated that. This must be the end. The fighting has spread like wildfire and can no longer be contained. They told us we're safe here, but the mutineers must have missed the memo. Our security forces held the towers in the green zone for a while, laying fire on everything that moved below, but the mutineers brought them with them heavy cannons stripped with combat drones. Cannons! What madness is this? Do they not understand what they're doing? The ship will not survive, of this I'm certain. Once mission control goes, the rest will fall like dominoes, so why run? Run where? Habitat won't last long either, so it's just a matter of time. Better to end it here and spare everyone what's coming. The fighting is so close I can hear them. The test subjects can hear them too, and they're getting agitated. All the noise is triggering their hunting response. They're thirsty for rich, nourishing blood. We feed them surplus frogs and simulated attacks in our simulated crops, but the creepers suck them dry in seconds. Today they're in for a real treat. I mean, I'm pretty sure we need to eject a lot of this stupid shit. Where are we? Oh, we're over here. Yeah, Kraken son, kill me! Yeah. Everything's going fine. Nothing is wrong. Target is out of reach. Ah, door's closed, that's why. I'll accept that. I saw that it exists, I haven't watched it yet. I did finally get around to watching that Star Wars XCOM. Wait, what? looks good. I mean, it looks like Star Wars XCOM. Interesting spread of characters on our team. I am amused that it's happening during the Clone Wars. I mean, it's a good time for it, right? It's like the war. Now, did you already hear the big twist, Evo? The twistiest of all twists. Can I go out here? Oh, I can go out here. So, big spoilers. Da-da-da-da. It turns out we were supposed to hit Proxima Centauri about 80 years ago. Now, I don't know where we are now. In fact, that's the biggest question mark in my mind right now is, where are we? But we were supposed to hit Proxima 80 years ago. John Hannon, logging field test, batch FS14, test 3. Frogs stay within the electronically marked perimeter and didn't wander off even when we tried to lure them away with bait. Consistently respond to 3 different ultrasound frequencies as basic commands. Home, patrol, and intruder. Anything more complex causes confusion and agitation. Home command prompts the frogs to return to their kennels and wait for food, even if the environment is unsecured. Intruder command works in a similar principle, but the target of the food is hidden and they must locate it. Patrol needs some behavioral modifications. Without an obvious stimulus, the frogs stop patrolling the perimeter and just wait for next command. Oh yeah, reporting another incident. Several frogs attacked staff members crossing the defensive perimeters, mistaking them for intruders. There's a clear improvement over past behavior, but we're still relying on a constant broadcast to keep them docile. Good temporary solution, but we need to solve this problem before it gets out of hand. Yeah, there's a few options there, and they are all bad. We could be drifting in space. We could have gone completely off path. Andor's coming out tomorrow. Speaking of pressing. Faith, can you take a look? An avid predator and an opportunistic feeder, the starfish is a keystone species, which makes its excellent addition to any terraforming arsenal. Accuracy plus 12, evasion plus 12, crit plus 6. Interesting. I'll take that. Yeah, I'll admit, I didn't find Andor depressing at all. Horrifying? Not depressing. I actually came up with a really dumb analogy to describe the difference. Because some people look at me weird when I say I don't like horror, considering some of the horrifying things I enjoy in fiction. To me, it's the difference between enjoying spicy food and burning your tongue with a match. One of those things is like, yeah, and the other thing is like, no. Yeah, I know, it's not a great comparison point. Which is which? Well, you see. I've never seen Sopranos. Oh yeah, let me put on this mask I found in a room filled with toxic death. I'd lose my thermal if I did that though, so meh. This technological colossus of glass and steel will never see Proxima. With luck, the ship's descendants will at least find some use for its components. The 8 terminals around the perimeter appear to have been designed for different purposes, although what that might be is lost to the mists of time. Originally designed to produce various medical components, this terminal has been modified to spit out custom combat stims. Well, that's another thing. I've never even heard of that, Magister. I've also defined the difference between heat and spice over the years. Because spice is a flavor, and heat just burns. Not that I'm aware of, you though. The game just treats it like for the last century or so, we've just been, you know, salvaging, scavenging. Esteemed members of the Synod. Our division has been tasked with protecting the precious crops and plants, the everlasting gift of Mother Earth to Proxima, our promised land. We know the dangers will be many, pests, fungi, pathogens, and the soil itself, but with the right tools, the pests can be driven off, the fungi controlled, the soil enriched. Our forefathers have given us these tools, keystone species that define entire ecosystems and hold them together. Like any tools, they must be shaped, reforged to fit the task at hand. These species will be the first line of defense in the battle to come. Safeguard our fields, tirelessly protect them from local threats that burrows, crawls, or flies the most humane and environmentally conscious ways possible. Our floaters can disrupt brain waves, gently turning away anyone approaching a designated perimeter. Should it fail, they can rapidly generate electric charge. Frogs can easily hunt down intruders, but you've already seen what they're capable of. Suffice to say, our little friends have shown a remarkable absolutely not widespread at all in Aerith, to the point where the only person who knows that is us. And nobody else. Our interesting project is the Sand Striker, uniquely suitable for any desert environment. It's an ambush predator. It can detect vibrations and anticipate its prey's movements. What's fascinating is the nutrient-rich waste is a perfect fertilizer that can enrich the soil and feed the plants. In this way, it turns threats into gifts that'll help grow the land. Correct, Darkrai. Nobody knows. Yeah, 5, that's right. There was the historian we also told. He stayed down there, though, so he probably hasn't told anybody. Thank you, MPPY. As always. Why don't we tell anyone? Who would listen and who would care? And what could we do about it? We have no control over this ship. Like, on any level. If anything would spark a war immediately, it would be telling people, I think. If anybody has control of this ship, I am unaware of it. And to my knowledge, I've met all the major factions. Unless there's like a hidden 6th faction at the end. Ancient terminal with rows of empty slots. Tower control module. Well, the situation isn't as dire as you feared. While the creatures deviated from the original genome, the fungus has been restricted from evolutionary change. All mutant variations tracked and eradicated. Access to Red Zone is currently restricted to avoid contamination until the project is discontinued. Discontinue project. The rumble of terraforming engines coming to life spreads throughout the building, and a heavy chemical-reeking smoke jets into the air. The smoke turns into a dense fog as it slowly settles over the entire zone. 2 hours later, the rumbling dies off with a prolonged whine, and the fog dissipates. Party is no longer poisoned. Time to go to the Red Zone. Yeah, monks control, like, the monks keep the life support on, and the mutants keep the engines running. That's about it. So, the Red Zone. The monitors glow dim like windows into some mad hellscape. Whole buildings swallowed by fungus. Gigantic distorted shadows lumbering through dense vermilion fog. And plants, if such a word still applies to these things, that somehow both survived and thrive in this crawling nightmare. If these hideous visions have any relation to what awaits in Proxima, you better pray the ship never reaches its destination. Nice place. Wish I had a flamethrower. Ask me when we get to Proxima. Maybe we'll be thanking him for making all these nice pets for you to play with. What if this is our future home? Not green pastures and still waters, but whatever this red hell is. It can't be. It's a habitable planet. All that means is Proxima has liquid water and can support life. So does this place. No, she's got a point. So here's the Hellscape Zone. Looks pretty much like the last zone. Control unit is visibly vibrating as it struggles to keep failing systems online. Heavy cables snake across the floor connected with terraforming engines. Remove the module. A hazard orange pop-up appears on the screen. The matter converter is currently engaged and cannot be removed. It seems an environmental simulation launched a century ago is still running. Okay, let's shut that down. Every warning you dismiss generates another in a seemingly endless array of safety protocols you're ignoring. First, it asks for special observation from a long-dead systems admin who worked in the server room below. Second, one of the terraforming engines isn't responding. Until it does, termination system cannot be executed. Third, system detected unclassified fungus that appears to be distant but unrecognizable cousin of whatever hell they unleashed around here at the time of the mutiny. The system needs to analyze a sample of that fungus before proceeding. Three-dimensional diagram shows exactly where it is. Okay. Would you like to purchase WinRAR now? No! Up and back into the toxin. Yay, that's why I didn't bother to heal earlier. Let's see, do I have any skill tokens right now? Do. Personate Steel and Streetwise. On me, please. You know, I don't know, Blake Duvall. I don't know what kind of options we're going to have when we get there. There's surely going to be multiple endings, right? And Age of Decadence had some wild alternate endings, including releasing a god, becoming a god's puppet, and becoming a god. Not in that order. It's no implant machine. They've been giving me a lot of implant machines. No to both, Lunariv. The only reason we know is because we found a log from someone who's been dead for about a century, roughly, who said they should arrive at their destination in about a decade or two. So if we assume worst case scenario, we're 80 years out. Please insert your access card. No need for such formalities amongst friends. Like before the mutiny, you would have been locked out the moment you started tampering, but with the already damaged OS, you forced the built-in card reader offline, spoof a security clearance, and you got admin access. Yay. Easy peasy. Well, one other thing I've noticed is until we got pretty far into the game, most people didn't have a really solid line on how long we've been out here. So I have a feeling most people don't know it's taking so long because most people don't know how long it's been. Nice place. I tend to lean towards being in favor of choose-your-own-ending games. In general. Sometimes those endings are much, much worse than other endings. But if the endings are actually good, like each ending is actually good, then I tend to like that sort of thing. Okay, we're locked in there, aren't we? Yeah. Yeah, to my knowledge, we don't have a very solid indicator of how long it's been, other than the stuff we found in Mission Control, which is why we know it's been about a century. Yeah, the only time it irritates me when there's multiple endings is when nothing indicates that you're doing something that's changing your ending options. Cough, cough, Witcher 3. I gotta repair that. Warning. Biohazard materials detected. Please remain calm. Invisible sprinklers mounted somewhere far above spray a colorless foam over the engine and its attendant creatures of the hiss. The effect is instantaneous. The fungus disintegrates, breaking into slimy clumps and draining away to expose the machine beneath. Stung by the sterilized goo, frogs dart away at runs. Creepers move more slowly, but they also withdraw, leaving a bloody trail behind them. Okay, enemies removed. Yay. Oh god, don't tell me he's an accelerationist, Bergman. I mean, I know your brother is a garbage human being and all, but like... yeah, it was about 400 years, Blake Duvall, from what they told us, from what the actual PR stuff was saying. Now, how accurate that is, who knows, but I have no reason to doubt it. John, you know perfectly well what we do. John, you know perfectly well what we do here, what we were tasked by the Founding Fathers to do, so spare me the outrage. From now on, all requests to tour facilities go through me. I can tell you right now that I don't have time to entertain your synod friends and explain the basics over and over again. They know that we must protect the crops at all costs, but they seem to think all we do is water plants and keep the natives away. So let me spell this out for you. So one last time, so hopefully you can convey this message to the others. No fungus, no crops. Simple as that. The local fungi could be very different from ours, and if they refuse to play ball, our crops will wither and die and bring the colony with them. So we're bringing our own highly evolved strains, but guess what? Fungi are territorial, just like us. When a mycelium, think of it as a fungus network, detects an intruder via chemical self or not self recognition, it starts pumping out inhibitors to drive the rival away and kill it outright. Do you know what's going to happen if the alien fungus kills ours? That's right, no crops, no colony. Yes, our fungus is very aggressive, because it has to be. If we want our species to survive, the meek might inherit the Earth one day, but they sure as hell won't inherit Proxima. We need a very effective soil colonizer, a real go-getter with high biodegradation potential to dominate the rhizosphere. It'll protect our crops, provide them with nutrients, and might even reduce, if not replace, the reliance on fertilizers. We're working on new strains that would improve growth and yield drought-stressed wheat, and the results are very encouraging. Increased biomass, increased metabolic processes, and reduced stress. Our crops will thrive in the most arid of environments, but only if the fungus takes hold first. Yeah, it'll wipe out everyone immediately. It'll grow in people's lungs, and that'll be the end of it. I can make 3 stems. Oh, wow. Give me an ultra regen, please, Faith. And another ultra regen, another ultra regen. Not that I ever anticipate getting in combat ever again, but, you know. No, you're absolutely not. I am 100% dreading Silent Hill 2. It will be a terrible, terrible run, which I will look forward to getting over with as quickly as possible. Yeah, there's been a theory that several people have posited that this is actually a prequel to Age of Decadence. Which, yeah, I can actually buy that. Yeah, the other game by this studio. It absolutely does, Yura. It has extra-dimensional creatures with supernatural powers and sci-fi technology and superguns, high-tech. But it's mostly a dead, dying, decaying, rotting, ultra-horrific world where nothing is good and everything's going bad and will get worse over time. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Yeah, pretty typical Eastern European game. You know, I never did finish Blackguard. I wonder if that game does the same thing. This way, I think it was. Age of Decadence is harder than this, but it's also much more branchy. In a good way. It's actually quite impressive how much that game branches. Oh man, their lives are so good, you have no idea. Another firefighter helm. What can I do for you? Sorry, Evans, I didn't mean to talk to you. I haven't even touched Dungeon Rat, so I'm not sure what's up with that one. It's supposed to be even harder than Age of Decadence, which is harder than this. Oh, it's set in in Age of Decadence. Well, that's already horrific. I'm with it, I'm with it. I thought the fungus was no longer among us. But it is, clearly. It's still there. Okay. Okay. Don't worry, Izmir starts soon. Everything will be bleak and horrible. By the way, this game came out just a few years ago. I'll set the timeline there a little bit. I need an access code. Where the hell do I get an access code? Okay. Yeah, I'm a sucker for fun games. I actually call them joy games. They're kind of infrequent. Nice when they show up, though. Like Mario Wonder. I know I've praised that game before, but God, that game. That game's just a smile in video game format. Almost positive I already read this. Yep, okay. You mean like historically act? Hold on, that's different. The vines are covered with fleshy red flowers pulsating out of sync with each other and oozing sticky mucilage. Look like digestive glands, anticipating a meal rather than a Terran plant in full bloom. Gross. Huh. Thank you, Walker. Always appreciate. And I apologize. We will put that. To 701, Chained Echoes, and Sea of Stars. There's the ship. Minimal change game to make this story's premise not bleak. We're actually really close to Proxima Centauri, and, not that we know this, they're basically Vulcans. What I mean by that is they're like the Azimdi, right? They are a positively inclined extraterrestrial race. Yeah, they can save us. Bingo. You got it. Like, we get there, and they're like, oh my god. And that just kind of helps galvanize humanity, and things get better, and boom, life is good. There you go. One change. It's worth noting that's even possible. Like, we have no information that that's not true as of right now. I just doubt it, because this is an Eastern European game. Exactly as Mirror Star. So I'm going to switch to the walkthrough, because I give up. So let's see. So let's retrack here. Backtrack. Retrack? Really, Lord? Okay. So, use the console. That unlocks the elevator down. Access the server to upgrade your security clearance. What server? What server? In order to access the server, you need lockpick or computer. Is this the server? Nope. Yeah, usually when you say, are we there yet? It's like a joking thing, not, oh god, kill me. Like, I can't get over here because there's stuff in the way, and I can't possibly just walk over the stuff. That would be insane. Nope, see this stuff? This tiny, waist-high wall is preventing me from going this way. Or this way, for that matter. Okay, this is getting frustrating. Game. Yeah, being part of the middle generation, I still feel like you could make a positively inclined story about that. Not here, of course. This is horrific death, top to bottom. But it's still an interesting question. You know that you didn't choose this, and you know you will not reap the benefits of the decision your parents made. Now what? Thank you very much, Walker. Super turbo bow. I bow. Hang on. Walker says I have to bow to the person who wants to be bowed to the least. So, thank you, Evo, very, very much. As always, appreciate. Now I have to play the rest of the game while bowed. So, hang on. Let me kind of adjust the bow here. You can see what I'm doing. Let's see. Well, there's the force field. Oh, I can examine the force field. Let's try examining the force field. Maybe that'll give me something. I must keep bowing to Evo. Must keep bowing. Okay. Disable the force field. Okay. Use the broadcaster. Okay. Hey! So we've successfully managed to go somewhere. That's true. It's less depressing. Speaking of less depressing, you're right. We should play less depressing music. I apologize. There we go. Don't you dare, Evil. That's just mean. Oh, absolutely, Walker. It's okay. It's all right, guys. It's all right. Everything's fine. They brought holodecks. Yeah, I could have a monitor on the floor in front of me, and I could just stay bowed, flex my abs the whole time. Okay, so you do nothing. You do nothing. Zoom. Super stealth. Okay. Thank you, Croatia. I was just looking at this like, okay, is there another way? Wait, I just realized this is like the hydroponics area, right? I'm stupid. I have a forest playlist. There we go. This databed contains a lengthy series of field reports on the floaters, consisting mainly of the endless problems with training and modifications. The early variants were too unstable, failing to produce gas, or digesting frogs, or anything else. The attempt to fix these problems spawned different floating abominations, leading to rapid evolutionary cycles. One of the early design problems was resolved. Behavior specialists took over. The floater had to be aggressive enough to mindlessly engage any enemy threatening the farm fields, but not aggressive enough to pursue, which would leave the territory unguarded. Floaters would associate the future farmlands approximal with their nesting grounds, while broadcast signals would adjust the perimeter at will. Despite all their efforts, the floaters proved stubbornly resistant. Jesus! That startled me. Stupid moth. Even acknowledging subliminal orders and signals, the only thing they were good for was hovering above field markers and zapping frogs and personnel alike. After a synod representative was sent to evaluate the progress ended up in the creature's digestive sac, the floater's tentacles were weakened to prevent them from feeding on anything larger than a frog. That's horrible. Fix the containment unit. Alright, we no longer have to deal with those things, thank God. Look, we need to recycle the synod. So we did. Hey, a second hazmat suit. There's the sample of the fungus. Getting close, perhaps too close, to mutated fungus's ground zero. Can't even imagine what the glowing, quivering pustules are meant to do. Something massive is slowly shifting somewhere in the depths of the billowing fog, and a bones-deep terror seizes you, urging you to flee. Okay, fine. Hang on. Some actual tension music. Hang on. You catch a glimpse of several ropey tentacles groping blindly on the ground, and then all at once they vanish, and the awful feeling of dread is gone with them. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, that fungus has claimed all of that. Whatever that machinery used to be. And, yeah, no loot is worth that. We're not even going to try. We are not even going to try. We're leaving immediately. Screw that. That looks like an optional encounter, and nope. Yeah, there. Ugh. So insert the sample. Several hours pass quietly while it identifies the strand and synthesizes an effective countermeasure. Groaning and shuddering, the engines within the ancient machinery begin to reverse the centuries-long experiment. It'll take months to eliminate the fungus, but the air should be clear of spores, and the Grange is free to roam. Can't believe you did it. After all these years, we can reclaim hydroponics. I need more manpower to hold it. Now that you control the best pit route between the habitat and the pit, won't be a shortage of people trying to take it from you. I mean, the factory? Factory, habitat, and the pit. Yeah, we need to take inventory of what we have first, then figure out how to protect it. Okay, that was a thing. Let's go ahead and heal up. Yeah, so what was that? 3 frogs, I'm not sure which types. 3 of those frickin' creepers, again, not sure which of those types. And 1 of the jellyfish. Yeah, that fight sounds like hell. The creepers can put down smoke screens and poison you. These can either psychic, spit, or damage your legs. I'm not sure what these things can do, and I'm not sure what to find out. It's fighting a debuff squad in a typical kind of game. Where am I going? Armory. What do you do with the monks? You out of your mind? What are you talking about? Friend Zeta 4 showed up to pick the machine while you were gone. Protectors arrived shortly after. They've been eyeballing each other ever since. I'll deal with it. Deal with it how? I've spent years looking for that access card. You think I'm gonna get away? Don't worry, I'll stick with the plan. Good. Yep, totally stick with the plan, Tanner. You and your minuscule, pathetic, and insignificant concerns are very relevant when dealing with the fact that the ship is on the verge of total destruction. We're all about to die. Alright, this is it. What was finally worth, like, one of the highest computer skills we've had to do in the whole game. Heavy energy armor. That is as good as the Combat Armor Mark II, only shield instead of armor. Yeah, I'll give it to her. She can enjoy that. Alright, so. Back to default music. Everything is bleak and horrible. No, Cobra's the party member, but I don't know. I don't trust Cobra, and I don't want to get rid of Faith. I also don't know how to swap party members, if I'm being honest. Yeah. Also, I just realized the humor here. I keep building my party into being more and more combat ready. If they ever turn on me, I'm dead instantly. I can't do anything to them. Maybe I should strip them of all their gear and just let them be useless. I'm here to facilitate delivery. What delivery? Ah, God damn it! I got you earlier. I got you now. I can see your corpse. Okay, this is actually funny. So for those of you who know where I have my mic on a boom, and the corpse actually landed on this thing. I mean, this is a CRPG. Party members turning on you is something that should at least be on the table. Life support device. You were instructed to deliver it to us. So it sounds like this is our choice, is we can choose the protectors. That's another reason I'm not having Cobra in the party, by the way. Or we could choose the monks, but I don't know anything about the monks, and I don't want to choose a faction with, like, just like that. But then again, the Nazis are terrible. What do y'all think? Should we switch from the Nazis to the robots? A CRPG that doesn't have party members. Kennex Cow says, Roots! I agree. Roots, roots, roots. If there was, you know, Blintavel's right. If they're worse, it can't be by much. So yeah, go ahead and take it. What do you think you're doing? Changing my mind. But I suggest you change it back before it's too late. Why would you even consider giving it to the monks? It's the best for the ship. That's what the mutineers said, and the ship authority before them, and the monks when they sealed the ECLSS, instead of using it to prevent bloodshed. Everyone has their own idea what's best for the ship. You sure you don't want to throw your hat in this ring? What's the alternative? The Protectors? Don't give me that. You came to us, remember? Nobody forced you to do that. You talked Silas into it, now that his ass is on the line, it's too late to back out. Doesn't mean I'm wrong. Doesn't mean you're right either. This machine is our only chance to end a century-old conflict without tearing the ship apart. I'm trying to fix the ship. I don't give a crap about your pea-shooter conflict. The Protectors cannot fight the Brotherhood and the monks at the same time. If you don't have a choice now. Let's say you kill me. Then what? Drag the machine all the way to the habitat while fighting off the monks? Starting a war is above my pay grade. So I'll let Silas decide how to proceed. No matter how he proceeds, you're living on borrowed time. Yeah, that's nice. Go away. Yeah, you know what? We here at the Lore Walkers are completely comfortable with making the firm statement that Nazis are bad. You have chosen wisely. Probably, yeah. What do we do now? As your liaison, I will provide assistance until the mission is complete. If you have the matter converter, please install it now. Okay, what's funny is our rep with the Protectors went down to 0. We're actually really supportive of the church, weirdly. We're still pretty high on diplomacy and exploration. Not that high on stealth, which is funny because we're a stealth character. What are you talking about, Magister? Croatia! Sorry, what? We are very liberty and very xenophilic. We have no tradition or progress values and no atheism or theism values at all. No, I think we have to get in the negatives to get into kill on sight. I did hear that the Pope died. If this is the Pope I'm thinking of, that actually sucks, because he was one of the cool ones. Plus, you know, death is bad in general. Sorry, one second, checking something. Alright, okay, so that is the one I was talking about, yeah. Yeah, no, he was cool. 4 hours after meeting Vance. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But if I had to talk to Vance, I'd probably die, too. Alright, you gotta joke about it. We've gotta joke about it, otherwise it's horrible. Yeah, I was eyeballing that. I mean, pushing sneak up to 15 if that's even possible. Screw it, let's just see how high it pushes it. To 10. It didn't do anything to it at all. Oh, well. It's good to know, I suppose. Kind of a waste. Pistolero. By the way, it's actually the name of it. It's called Pistolero. It's right there. Pistolero. So I'm going to take the energy weapons feed on him. No reason. No reason at all. And on you... Take shotgun. There it is. Yeah, shotgun. There we go. Nope, my sneak hasn't moved an inch. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so we did it. Double checking something. I've just got to walk through it with this one. I don't feel like playing around anymore. So yeah, sorry. I feel like there's like one CRPG with no companions. Like, there was a weird one. And for the love of God, I can't think of what one it is. I mean, companions have been a staple of CRPGs since, like, Wasteland 1. You know? And Wasteland is arguably the first CRPG. Which itself was kind of a branch out of the dungeon crawler / pseudo RPGs of the mid and early 80s. Okay, install matter converter. Machine does most of the work for you, and rapidly changing screens. We'll take it to the ECLSS via railway. Is it safe for travel? Not for the moment. You'll need to secure it. I will stay here to protect the machine. Alone? Asriel's already en route. Okay, back to hydroponics, I guess. Well, yeah, I mean, computer RPG is an outdated term, but then again, so is Japanese RPG. Metroidvania does not have to be a Metroid or a Castlevania either. Where is Carlos? Let's try green. So, you haven't given any thought to securing hydroponics yet? So, if you stand alone, you'll lose hydroponics and your lives. So, here's our options. We can reach out to the keepers. We can talk to Jonas. We can talk to the monks. Or we could give them animal minions. Huh. Apparently, we can also sign with Bartholomew if we chose that pick. This is the other reason I'm using a walkthrough. I'm curious what other options we would have if we did side quests differently. Damn. You need a Persuade 9 and then a Persuade 10, or a Streetwise 9 and a Streetwise 10 if we don't go with one of the easier options. Yikes. Well, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the monks. Oop. Monks? What about Jonas? I could talk to Jonas, see what he thinks. Anything else? How about the broadcast network? Okay, that's a lot. Alright, so... Alright, hang on. Oh, you okay, so I choose the monks then. I was about to go down the list. So, hang on. Talk to... Ava? No. Yeah, what's to say? Hi. Could you help? Oh, this is Ava. Okay. The Rangers need help to defend hydroponics. Non-interference directive prevents us from getting involved in local conflicts. Super Country's primary directive. It's a primary directive. To maintain life support until the Starfire reaches. So, if hydroponics were to become such an asset, would you like Gretchen? And the Rangers? We have no interest in the Rangers' operations, only in Hypertronics infrastructure. Why? Research shows promise. Okay, I'll talk to the Grangers. That's cryptic. Back we go. Thank God for fast travel. You know one thing that would guarantee make me hate this game? Like, go from generally enjoying myself to actually despising it? No fast travel at all. Imagine if this was Baldur's Gate 1. Put very simply, or Baldur's Gate 2. And you just had to walk everywhere. The extra padding that would add to this game would be bonkers. And yes, I am well aware, Judo Joker. So, the monks are willing to do it. They won't interfere as long as they want the infrastructure. Well, because hydroponics is the best broadcast network on the ship. Everything else has been destroyed during the mutiny. I think I can live with that. Trouble! Croaks Tanner, out of breath. The Brotherhood hit the armory. How'd you manage to get away? I didn't. They sent me to get you. They want to talk. What about Zeta? She's doing her best to smooth things over, but it's not going well, so you better hurry. So the Brotherhood is talking, not the Protectors, who we just screwed over. The Brotherhood, who we have no dealings with whatsoever. Okay. No, and they're kind of vetoed right now, Magister. Very technically, I could get a Switch version of the games running and play that. But A, the thought of playing a CRPG on the Switch makes me want to gouge my eyes out, and B, the thought of playing Baldur's Gate 1 makes me want to gouge my eyes out, so I'm not super enthused about the prospect. That's a lot of troops. And a robot. Okay. I ran into a turbo crashy bug of Doom and Hell. And, yeah. On Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, that's worth noting. Spider-Man on the PS4, Judo Joker. They made traversal fun and optional by actually adding fast travel. Boom. That's it. That's the 2 bullet points. Make traversal fun, make it optional. It's actually funny, a lot of games make traversal optional. Or, excuse me, make traversal fun. It's fun to drive in GTA 5. It's fun to swing around like an idiot in Just Cause 3. You know, it's fun to... I don't know what else. I still can't think of any other examples. I know there's other games where traversal is fun. So... Sneak feels like kill. Let's save. Let's see how Sneak goes. A monk appears and a cloaking field dissipates around him. Can you defuse the situation? Where's Zeta? Negotiating. There are more soldiers inside the vault. Can't you handle them? As a last resort, hostile response is inadvisable. What if they don't listen to me? We're authorized to provide assistance. That's true. WoW is actually a good example of that. So there you go. There's another one. WoW. Another good tip is to make traversal optional in general, even if it's not fun. Final Fantasy XIV is a good example of that. Yeah, I did, Evo. Problem is, I don't want to make everyone want to kill me. I need a dagger. So switch to a dagger. I have a dagger. This doesn't count as a dagger. It doesn't count as a dagger. Oh my god. That is hysterical. What's a fight, Colgrim? Just gonna end this turn literally right behind this guy. There we go. Actually, we do, Takota. The grenades. The grenades are extremely expensive, several hundred credits each. And they are actually really useful in combat. It depends on the game, Judo Joker. But generally speaking, if you have fast travel from anywhere to anywhere, I tend to prefer that over what you referred to, which I usually refer to as flight paths or waypoints. Put this differently. Diablo 2 has a waypoint system, whereas Diablo 3 has a fast travel system. And they are different systems. I can't do anything to that robot. Wow. Starfield is one of those rare exceptions, but honestly, the biggest problem with Starfield... Yeah, let's reload. I don't like this. The biggest problem with Starfield was that its fast travel was badly designed, and its worlds were badly designed, and its hubs were badly designed, and it was literally bugged. Like, God, the amount of work and effort it took. Yeah, the problem with Starfield is everything. Handle them with the enlist me. I'll give it a try. Okay, let's try to talk our way through here. The depot looks like a war zone, absent dead bodies. The vault door looks like it was thrown off the hinges, so the Brotherhood came in strong. Amidst this stands a Brotherhood officer seemingly waiting for you. Should have killed you in the factory and saved myself the trouble. What brings you here? I wanted this myself. I was sent here to stop the protectors, but the bastards nowhere to be found. Yeah, they're gone. The machine belongs to the monks now. Does it now? I'm surprised the protectors just up and left. It's what's the best for the ship, so they did the right thing for once. They didn't want to fight the monks, more likely. Alright, boys, get the machine ready to move. You're making a mistake. We're all make mistakes, even you. If you claim the machine, the protectors in the church will come for it and fight to the bitter end. Giving the machine to the monks is the only way to prevent that. Let them come, won't be the first time. If you could win this war, you wouldn't need this machine. Oh, okay, this is above my pay grade. Let's see how badly Hansen wants this machine. You did well. Always try to defuse a difficult situation first. I'm about to ask what she'd do had diplomacy failed when we see Azrael behind her. What do we do now? We have to move the machine now. The longer it stays here, the higher chance to lose it. Here's the code to the elevator. Thanks. Yeah, no kidding, Colgrim. We must protect the mission! Death to the monks and the mutants. Hold up. I mean, when would you ever expect Nazis to think rationally? No, I remember. I do actually remember the elevators over there. I can't talk to anyone else. I'm just kind of double-checking. This feels like a point of no return. I think I've kind of done everything I want to, so... Alright. What? Okay, hang on. I doubt it, Mr. Red. Code, there we go. Oh my god. They fly now? Sorry, terrible meme. I apologize. Oh man, if we finish this game before lunch, I will be so happy. Because then we can start Silent Hill 2 earlier and get that trash, I mean, great game, over with as quickly as possible. Alright, so let's travel to hydroponics. You reach hydroponics without trouble. The machine follows the ancient railway, never veering more than a few inches from it. A small crowd gathers to see the machine, Grangers and their new allies. So this is what it's all about. We cleared the tracks all the way to the habitat, even moved the derelict trains away. You're safe here, at least for now, but beyond the walls you're on your own. Thank you, Carlos. I don't even have the slightest idea of how Silent Hill 2 will score. I don't know if it's a good game or a bad game, only that I don't like it. You know, I've just got 4,000 credits lying around. I could burn all of that in a single round of grenades. God. You know what? Yeah, let's just buy some grenades. Yeah, that's... Yeah, that was about a third of my money right there. Yeah, that was supposed to be, like, last week, wasn't it? Golly. Maybe it was this week. I don't know, whatever. By the way, hi, Baltimore, actual. This is a very interesting game. Extremely bleak. Extremely depressing. But really good. And the score kind of follows that. Through on that over here. So, yeah, let's do it. Good afternoon, Jay Palmer. To the red zone! Oh my god, they actually put up the countdown. Holy crap. I didn't add that game, Jay Palmer. I haven't put Dealer's Choice towards anything in over a year. I should actually figure out how long it's been. It's been a while. I think Elder Scrolls 6 will either be one of two things. As bad as Starfield, or slightly less bad. The journey to the red zone is equally uneventful. You start thinking this was easy when one of the Grangers waits for you to stop. Trouble up ahead. Men in the tunnel, armed. I didn't want to get too close, that's all I can tell you. Asriel is ready to engage. Okay. Cool. Oblivion R? Who knows? I mean, honestly, I have no hope for an Oblivion R, really. I would call it a pandering move, but the thing is, by definition, it almost assuredly was in development since before Starfield. So... okay, so... Greetings. We're here to ensure your safety and escort you to the ECLSS. It's the church, with 2 robots. You don't need to ask the Holy Father for help. He provides it freely without asking in return. But if he were to ask, he'd never do such a thing. He'd merely hope our brothers and sisters in the Ecclesiastes remember the church was always their friend and ally. Very well. Chapter 4, Endgame. Now, is it the Voyager episode or the movie? In the end, you gave the nearly assembled machine to the monks. It was the right thing to do, not that those murderous bastards gave you a choice. They have the final components, so it's probably for the best anyway. I'd like to thank you. She doesn't sound thankful. She doesn't sound like anything at all. Might be recording. We'll use this machine to improve the central life support for the good of all people. You can still help us. The situation is no longer sustainable. What do you mean? After the mutiny, the Habitat was eager to help us preserve the ship. They understood the importance of our work and provided anything we asked for without hesitation. They were at war with each other, but they worked together through us. Not anymore. They withhold vital equipment and want to use it for their own benefit. They dare to interfere and attack. I'm not sure I can help you with that. You can deliver a warning. Further attempts to interfere will not be tolerated. The war that distracts you from your duty must stop now. Did you really expect them to comply? Not at first. Can I get better gear at least? Okay. Well, first I want to say thank you to Bregwin. Thank you, Bregwin, for being you. The only thing I ever demanded of you. Stellaris. Wow. Path Within. And FF14 Patch Trail. Done. Okay. So... Yeah, I think you're right, Mr. Red. I think some people aren't fully cognizant of how actually awful Starfield is. You know, people clown on it, and people, like, raise their eyebrows at it or think it's generic or whatever, but no, I think that most people are not aware of just how legitimately terrible that game actually is. Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be a much bigger title with much bigger coverage, and if it's even slightly better than Starfield, it's going to bomb. And that might be it. That might be the nail in the coffin, so to speak. Yeah, exactly, Blade Tomorrow. So I guess you want me to go to the Habitat. This is great. If Elder Scrolls 6 is somehow good, I don't even know. I can't even process that reality. Lord knows I've been wrong before, but, like, I cannot imagine a reality in which Elder Scrolls 6 is actually a good game. if Elder Scrolls 4 is good? Elder Scrolls 4 is good. In fact, actually, if you give me a second, I can tell you exactly how good it is. No, I'm going to be a dick about this. So, Oblivion got a 262.98. Which is actually impressive considering how many negatives I dogpiled on that game. But that's still pretty up there. It's not quite as good as Ori 2 or Dragon Quest Builders 2 or Hat in Time or Hitman 3. It is, however, better than Ocarina of Time and Dragon Age Origins. Although I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be better than Dragon Age if Dragon Age didn't have Awakening. It's better than Final Fantasy 16. I stand by that one, too. It's better than Baldur's Gate 3. I stand by that one at launch. Anyways, I have a feeling Oblivion will outscore Skyrim. But then again, that's part of why I'm so curious about reviewing Skyrim, is I don't think Skyrim's that particularly good of a game, but I've never reviewed it. It did, Blades of All. And unlike most games, Oblivion's expansions actually raised the score. I just... Where am I? What's the point of this ultimatum? They'll never agree to it. It's a final demand, the rejection of which will result in retaliation. The agreement isn't required at this stage. Oh, okay. Could you send someone other than me to do this? No, okay, whatever. It might review better than Morrowind. You know, truthfully, Mr. Red, Oblivion is a pretty problematic game. It is. Like I don't want to, glaze it, I believe, is the new terminology for that. But, in all honesty, I think Oblivion is one of the exceptions for Bethesda games. I think it's the one that's actually good. You know what I mean? Between Oblivion... let's look at the list. So we got Arena, Daggerfall, Redguard, Battlespire, Morrowind, Skyrim. And then we have Oblivion. I think, to kind of go back to the BioWare thing, I think they got lucky with Oblivion. I will, god damn it, game. I will freely admit I actually like, unironically, Fallout 3. But I don't know how well it'll score. I bring you a message from CTO M. Miller of the House Ecclesiastes. Please don't kill me. Our sister in faith is always welcome here. Runner is our new liaison to the Habitat. He speaks for us now. Excellent, as if that's what he's been asking for all along. I hate these people. So, what do I think will hold Skyrim back? I think Skyrim, I think it is Offshore Twitch account. I think Skyrim will have two major things holding it back. First, the gameplay. So, let me explain that a little bit, because that's the most broad statement I could have possibly made, right? Oblivion's gameplay is not very good. However, it has several elements of gameplay that help really add some positives to pull that score up. Things like, to use specific examples, spellcrafting and enchanting, and the nature of how the spells work, right? Those drag Oblivion's score up and are essentially absent from Skyrim. Magic in general is just better in Oblivion than in Skyrim. Yeah, in Skyrim, all that fun stuff was stripped down and ripped out, right? Quest design. Oblivion didn't have the best quest design in the world, but every now and again there were quests in Oblivion which were legitimately fun on the gameplay axis specifically. Interesting and cool stuff that could lead to some fun interactions and encounters. Skyrim has, 2 good quests in the entire game from a gameplay axis. Skyrim doesn't have the same leveling scale and problems, that is true. But I also think it has substantially less interesting combat in general, and that is saying something. It also has a worse interface, and the inventory system, which reminds me of that. I also think Skyrim's leveling is overall worse, too. On the story axis, I don't need to make my point, do I? Oblivion, for its many flaws, has several interesting, engaging, and legitimately fun stories, even to this day. Like Whodunit, or the entire Fighters Guild chain, or the entire Mages Guild chain, or the Thieves Guild chain. In Skyrim, what we have is... Anyways, so... Yeah, Oblivion also has a substantially more interesting character set, in my opinion. Now, there aren't a ton of good characters in Oblivion, but there are several good characters. I'm sorry, Martin is legitimately an interesting character in Oblivion. And I also tend to give some credits towards Menker Cameron for being an actually engaging villain. We only really talked to him the one time, but you brought in... Oh god, what's his name? I can't think of his name. The actor who plays Menker Cameron, who does a great job of it, and manages to squeeze a ton of characterization and a ton of awesomeness into what is essentially one dungeon. And B, we also had interesting villains on like a per dungeon or a Terrence Stamp. Thank you. I kept want to say Clarence Stamp, and I'm like, no, that's wrong. We also had interesting villains from like several of the arcs, several of the guilds. By contrast, over on Skyrim we have... I will give you Miraak. We are counting expansion, so I'll actually give you Miraak. He's an interesting antagonist. But like, do any of you even remember the main villain of the Mages Guild in Skyrim? How about Trader Guy for the Thieves Guild? How many of you remember at all the main villain of the Fighters Guild, aka the Werewolf Guild? My point is, I think Oblivion is going to crush Skyrim on the story axis. Because Skyrim's story just isn't engaging for the most part. So I could see Skyrim dragging itself above Oblivion on gameplay because there are a few things that Skyrim does better gameplay-wise. For example, its dungeon design is noticeably better. And it does have a few other interesting quality of life features. Its consoles are also better, top to bottom. But I don't think Skyrim is going to manage to win out Golden number-wise. Now, Morrowind, I have no idea about Morrowind. We'll see when we get there. Anyways, here's a message. Further attempts to interfere will not be tolerated. The war that distracts you from your duty must stop now. You dare threaten me in this temple of our lord? This won't do at all. A shipboard's first duty is to the ship. My duty is to God! And look after my flock. You'd be well to remember that, sister. Now, I'm tempted by option 1, but I kind of want to go with option 3. Option 3 is, I thought all shipborne were your flock, not just those who live in this enclave. Absolutely, Judo Joker, yes. New Vegas is a BRPG, 100%. What do you think Bethesda lost between Oblivion and Skyrim? I don't know. I stand by what I said. I think they got lucky. I think they lucked into enough of the old crew and enough of the new crew to kind of have the secret sauce of making a game that was more convenient and with more quality of life features while still having some of the depth of Morrowind. That's Oblivion. Skyrim is even further dumbed down, and all of a sudden gameplay features that were engaging aren't, Yeah, Skyrim is what I would have expected from Bethesda. Now, having said that, I will also say that I don't think Skyrim will score net negative. I just don't think it's going to beat Oblivion. I've actually praised Skyrim many times for being a video game, for being the video game. Skyrim, I've said this before, I'll say this again. Skyrim is the game you could pop down anybody and say, hey, go play this. And anybody can play Skyrim, whether they're 5 or 15 or 50 or 70, right? I mean, everyone makes mention to Skyrim Grandma. I actually know people personally who are in their elder age who have used Skyrim as a way to keep their brains engaged in order to not dissolve into, old age. Right? And yeah, exactly, Brown Jacker. So that's why I say I think Oblivion was just like that secret sauce of just being good enough without being too bad, without being too simple, without being too ridiculous. Because then you look at something like Daggerfall, and then you immediately look away from Daggerfall. I'm getting off topic. Let's get on with this. So, we need to get to Silent Hill 2. So, I think the main takeaway here is that the monks want to play a more active role in ship affairs. You say you want peace, but I hear the drums of war. Those who want peace will get peace. Those who want war will get war. What do you want, Father? Peace. We've only ever wanted peace. Is that what Ava's offering? What should I tell CTO Miller? So we can counter support and guidance. Okay. So let's go to Silas. Daggerfall has several interesting and engaging features to it, and I will never gainsay that. But I will never forgive Daggerfall for its dungeon design and for its general meanderingness. What can I do for you? I have a very busy day. Runner is our new liaison with the Habitat. He speaks for us now. Would you come on this way to tell me this? I bring you a message from CTO Miller. Blah, blah, blah. Silas slowly sinks as if make sure you're heard right. He leans forward and fixes Zeta with a stare. A shipborn's first duty is to the ship. We're born on the ship for one reason and one reason only, to serve the mission. Anything else is secondary. I wouldn't call life support secondary. Hard to serve the mission when you're gasping for air. Seeing the monks are finally taking sides took them long enough. The monks serve only the ship, same as always. I hope you'll join them. We should have started with this. What should I tell CTO Miller? Tell you delivered your message. Was there anything else? No. Do I have to owe the pleasure? He says, not looking pleased at all. Runners are new liaison. I request a liaison. I bring a message for their temps. Shipborn's duty to the ship. My duty is to freedom and liberty. Yours is to maintain life support. People can live without liberties. They can't live without breathable air. Monks must stay neutral. That was the deal we had with Ava's father. The Habitat ended that arrangement when they tried to use a vital life support machine as a weapon. We did no such thing. We merely attempted to stop others from acquiring the weapon. Tell her we see this as a declaration of war. We hope she'll reconsider. What? Why did Ava send me? You could have delivered the warning yourself. It was an introduction. Next time they will take you seriously. What comes after the warning? Zeta says cryptically. Why? Oh, okay. My Brotherhood rep went down. Yay! It's the only one. You notice the Protector rep is still neutral. Jesus. Yep, I have officially become pest. You're a bum! I delivered your warning. What did William Hanson say? He sees it as a declaration of war. It's hard to read her face, but she looks almost pleased. What did Silas Ray say? Not much. He acknowledged it. He will. Tell me about Abraham Davis. He offers the church's full support. Thank you. We'll start with the Brotherhood and monitor results. Start what? Reduce the oxygen level by 20%. Yeah, by all means, go to war with the people who can, in seconds, get rid of your oxygen. You morons! What are you doing? Boost our oxygen level once they fully understand the position they're in. This will make your task much easier. Which task? We have to shut down the pit and the shuttle bay. That's what the numbers say. If we limit life support functions to the habitat, hydroponics, and engine room, we can last twice as long. You can last twice as long. What do you need me for? A decision hasn't been made yet. The numbers say we have to move everyone to the habitat, but the numbers aren't everything. We want you to discuss the situation and report back. Any other options? If they're willing to learn, we can make them. We can take them. Scavs will make good engineers and feel home at the maintenance. Wow! Okay, that's cool. I'm cool. Everything's cool, down to the pit. It's okay, they're only reducing oxygen by 20%. Damn right. please deliver the ultimatum. If you don't... End statement. Yes. Are you sure about that? Do you need some time to adjust before we proceed? Let's get it over with. Runner? He glances at Zeta and frowns, realizing it's not such. We regret to inform you life support services will no longer be available in the following locations. Cargo holds, shuttle bay, factory, mission control. All colonists presently residing or domiciling there will be given 30 days to relocate to habitat. You gotta be kidding me. You can't just come and tell us to move. All life support systems will be terminated in 30 days. Should you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact me. Where would you like to go, Jonas? Nowhere. We're going to stay right here. We have all kinds of gear. Oxygen generators, airlocks. Where would we go? You'll be given proper accommodation in any part of the habitat. Any violation will be prosecuted without notice. Jonas casts you a look of disbelief and uncertainty. Yeah, the habitat doesn't get a choice either. The monks are in charge now. This is what you're doing because that stupid machine? We can run out of air in a year or two. This can buy us all more time. Let's hope you're right. I want our sacrifice to mean something. Wait, there might be another option! The monks are few in number. I think you can use some people who knew their way around tech and aren't loyal to the habitat. We have a lot of people skilled at dismantling and repair. They can fight, too, if needed. Okay. Yes, Linerith. Hey, hi, listen. Sorry, yeah, have you tried rebooting your lungs? Okay, so if that doesn't work... Listen, ma'am. Man, it's hard to hear you because you're gasping for air. Now, what seems to be the problem? Ma'am, if... I'm gonna have to hang up and treat this as a prank call if you don't stop gasping for air, ma'am. Okay, thank you for calling. Please stay on the line to fill out a survey of how satisfied you are with this customer service. Handled it well. Your people will be taken care of. I will see to it myself. We've expanded operations. Employing your scavs will allow us to expand at a much faster rate. They'll give them proper accommodations, training, and augmentations. Standard implants fully upgraded. We will not turn your people into monks if that is your concern. About me, how do I fit into all this? You and Runner have chosen to serve the ship rather than the factions inhabiting it. You report directly to me. Your people will report to you. Your accommodations will reflect your new status. Think of it as a promotion. Oh, that would be awful in Earth. It's easy to go into horror. All you have to do is think about what the most uncaring thing is you can think of. And there you go. Boom. I have another task for you. Zeta report there's a locked elevator in the armory. Her attempts to force it have failed. We have identified 3 possible access codes. Write them down. Okay. Is it just me, or are we kind of racing through the plot all of a sudden, since we officially joined the monks? So what's down here? Emergency access to the bridge. Really? I hope that bridge chip we have comes into play here. Okay. After a long hike, you see familiar fungus. You must be under hydroponics now. So we're in the Jeffries tubes. The monks really want me to play Silent Hill 2. They're like, we understand this game is the best game ever made. We're under ECLSS now. Okay, this is a weird sequence. There's no combat, there's no puzzles, there's no nothing. We're just walking miles and miles through the ship's Jeffries tubes to get to the bridge. No, actually, Croatia. Detecting an intruder, an ancient combat robot wakes up from its long slumber. We cannot deal with that. 2 turrets pop up to the floor, joining the party. There's a maintenance ladder to the left, so you can take temporary refuge. Okay, let's rush down the ladder. Resistance is futile, Kennex Cow. Alright, so... the turrets open fire without warning, taking the robot by surprise. It hesitates for a moment, following some ancient protocol, then engages the enemy, but too late. Okay, so that's dealt with. Love me some turrets. What's the robot doing? Is it repairing itself as it lays there? Should I be doing something other than just watching it? Like that. It's been pacified. The bridge. The planet. That answers that. We're in orbit. How long have we been in orbit? We've been right here. We've been right here for 80 years! Oh my god. Oh my god. Emerging from the maintenance shaft, the first thing you see is Proxima in all its glory. You've seen videos of Earth, but the blue planet left behind long ago never had the same effect on what you see now. The swirling brown planet made a look at Earth, but it's the only home these colonists would ever own. We've arrived! About damn time, if you ask me. Never thought I'd be so happy to see it. Our future home. House by a river. They do have rivers, don't they? This is it, end of the journey. Took long enough. Better late than never, my father used to say. We're here now, and that's all that matters. Yeah, let's have a look around. It was right here all along, yet nobody knew. Yeah, the bridge was sealed. Bastards. The ship authority. If they didn't seal the bridge. How long did you know? We did not know. The outcome was likely, but not the only possibility. But you knew about the maintenance tunnel. The access point was sealed off until you deactivated security. Where'd you get the access card? Tanner found it. Tanner. The man with the intelligence of a rat. Call it human ingenuity, but what's going to happen now? Ask Ava. Do you think we have a chance? I mean, on the surface. A chance? Current probability for mission success stands at 7.8%. The original calculation when Starfarer departed Earth was 82%. Why is it so low now? Oh, look, the planet. It's actually rotating under us. Do you see that? Low? You're lucky it's not 1% considering the state the ship's in. If we take our time to prepare, we can increase it to 15 or even 20%. Yeah, we've been in orbit of frickin' Proxima for 80 years. Now, hang on. This could get a lot worse from here. This could go downhill from this point onwards. Yeah, I saved. In fact, I'm going to make a hard save. Let's make a hard save. If the people on board don't get off, okay, bye. Enjoy the next 20 years of your life. Because oxygen's running out. Literally. So, they actually hard-locked the bridge. Idiots! They actually hard-locked the bridge. Why? Oh no, there's a mutiny. Quick. Lock down the bridge so that nobody can land the ship. As you log into the central computer, you're flooded with centuries of virtually incomprehensible data about Proxima Centauri, all transmitted to the ship by the network of ancient deep space probes still orbiting the planet. Even with centuries of your own, you wouldn't be able to parse, let alone understand everything the probes have uploaded, but you can try to scan. Let's check the probes. A large metal sphere fills up the screen, rotating with incremental slowness. A rectangular header shows that it's an Outrider-class probe carrying 12 survey drones controlled by a distributed AI. The drones are long gone, the AI has been severely degraded as well, but thankfully the reports are still intact. Digital mountains of data wait at your fingertips, spanning geological, meteorological, geochemical, mineralogical, and even anthropological studies. It made good use of its time. Now some lucky soul finally reads through it all. Or not. Proxima b appears on the screen in all its arid glory. A linked habitability study tells you the world is no Eden, but a savage land to be tamed by savage settlers. An outdated map of indigenous settlements suggests the planet is sparsely populated, all because of the hostile conditions. With plenty of land for newcomers, there's hope that humans may settle without too much bloodshed. The landing zone's already selected, the result of hundreds of different scenarios evaluated and discarded. According to the now defunct AI, this is the colony's best hope for success, or would have been, had we not lost most of our manpower, technology, and know-how. Still, the zone is an undeniably a beauty, rich in resources. A green flash promises water close underground, and in spitting distance, a native town with lanky inhabitants staring up at a distant camera. The dawn has finally come, and you are the first to see it. Okay, the natives. A choppy and oddly angled recording shows you are a skinny, long-limbed anthropoid with elongated skulls dressed in something approximating a toga. Wide-set eyes and a flat, inexpressive face gaze impassively at you from the screen. Its knobbly three-fingered hands he holds a strange staff, perhaps a mark of Ranger Station. This handsome fellow is undoubtedly an upward-walking biped, but no one would mistake him for a human. There's a note here. The AI flagged something uncatalogued phenomenon, something about unusual energy waves. A drone flying over one of the indigenous settlements detected inexplicably harmonic waves of uncertain origin. The AI requested a spectroscopic scan, sending the drone another flyby. Unfortunately, the drone suffered an unknown malfunction and crashed right after recording an energy spike with the same resonant wavelength. The AI filed an incident report stating there's a connection between the mysterious energy waves and the great desert stones that shade the natives' towns. While its analysis was inconclusive, the AI categorized the phenomena as psionic amplification, probability 67%. Could this be Proxima's true gift to her children? The gift denied to the more industrious children of Earth, whose tool-making skills drove them to dominate their environment and eventually the planet. The people of Proxima would need sharpened stones to hunt if they could do it with a mere thought. Also, more fuel to the fire that this is a prequel to Age of Decadence. How about settlements? There's a time-lapse recorded taking from orbit. A swarm of tiny dots, representing tribal migration, crawl everywhere like ants, occasionally blinking out of existence to be replaced by new generations. The view changes to show scattered clusters of rock formations, which offer the only shade and access to resources in the endless desert. Migration patterns shift as inhabitants congregate around these formations. Their camps grow into settlements, and then they give up their nomadic ways, digging underground to escape the oppressive heat of the surface. To your eye, resulting towns look more like primitive dig sites than a living civilization. Suddenly the camera zooms in on one of the settlements, revealing every detail. The reason the AI chose to focus here is plain. A monolith raised by the natives is inscribed with the image of a new strange moon that appeared in the sky one day. The ship's arrival has not gone unnoticed. In the final stage of the visual survey, the settlement grows into a town, several concentric walls marking its steady expansion. The rocky spires are chiseled into hexagonal shapes, leaning over the town at odd angles. An appended note conservatively estimates the population at 12,000. Planet-wide, 2.1 million, nearly a century ago. Or at least 3 million inhabitants now. If they stand together, the Terrans are doomed. Yeah? Your attention on the screen, you almost missed it. A small port with faded leathers. Bridge officer. The bridge fades away as unfettered data flows into your brain, overwhelming your senses. It's like looking at a multitude of screens merged into one. You see a three-dimensional map of the ship with a data overlay. Endless alerts that waited to be brought to someone's attention for centuries. The ship itself, the battered hull, breached in several places, decks that were sealed automatically, a list of casualties, damage and radiation reports, and everything else the central computer thinks you need to know. Your mind is untrained, and your first attempts to navigate this interface fail, leaving you dizzy and disoriented. You stumble in the dark for hours, trying to do what an experienced bridge officer could do intuitively in seconds, and eventually reach your destination. Landing the ship is a relatively simple affair, mainly because your role here is that of a living authenticator. Give an order and the ship will do what it's done countless times in the past when it was still a cargo hauler. Detach the cargo hulls, engage their thrusters, and guide them remotely to a one-way trip to the surface. The ship itself will remain in orbit, a temporary satellite providing much-needed support for the future colony. There's only one problem. The engines need to be shut down first. As you struggle to stay focused, you stumble on another command. Emergency recall. Emergency recall? A cargo hauler in distress can be recalled home if no bridge officer is available to give orders. What that means is that even an untrained officer like you could send the ship back to Earth. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Why is that an option? Just blow up the ship if you're gonna allow that. If you want an evil option, just blow the thing up. Detonate it. More than a simple ferry, the lander is a mobile command center with its own power generators and life support systems. Okay, we activate the controls. Okay. Yeah, Brown Jacker. Yeah. Yeah, no, that is so much more evil than just blowing up the ship. God, that's awful. Okay, shut down the engines. The consequences of dumping the cargo holds in unprepared colonists in Proxima might be disastrous. Wait, what? Okay, hang on. I'm not certain. Hold up. So let me be clear about this. I appear to have 3 ending options here. I can be the most horrifically evil jackass in the history of the universe. I can emergency dump all the people unprepared on the planet below, with no prep time and no warning and no nothing. Or I can take the lander and bail and leave everyone else up on the ship. And the only one who can authorize the ship to land is me. These are 3 terrible options. Hang on. Surprise! Ah! Okay, hang on. Do I still have access to those options? I do. Okay. So yeah, let's grab a hard save here. Again, another hard save here. Let's just overwrite that one. There we go. How do I work with the monks? Ah, here we go. Secure the bridge. Do you know the ship had arrived at Proxima long ago? We've been in orbit for years. I suspected. Now I know. This changes everything. Changes nothing. We cannot land the ship right now. Why not? Because this isn't the end of the journey. As difficult as everyone finds ship life, the first months and years in Proxima will be much harder. Can you breathe the air, drink the water, digest the food? What about unknown viruses and bacteria? What about the native population? We don't know if they're hostile or not. The odds of natives welcoming us with open arms are very low. Maybe that's why we need to unite. Willing to bet the fate of the colony on maybe? Then what's your option? We repair the remaining shuttles, use them to scout the surface and get the necessary samples. Then we run immunodiagnostics and generate vaccines for whatever seems deadliest. When the factory has been restored to its original purpose, the colony is properly trained. Once we're all united under one ideology, we'll be ready. We will take our time to repair rather than rush in and be killed off by Proxima's versions of dysentery and cholera. It doesn't matter what Habitat likes. We control the bridge, and without proper authentication, no one can initiate landing sequence. The Habitat will have no choice but to work with us, however many years it takes. What was that you said about one ideology? You must have heard the old Earth axiom, united we stand, divided we fall. We must all put our differences aside and focus on Proxima. It's our best and only chance for survival. Yeah, that's never going to happen. The Brotherhood protects us in church. They're a thing of a fractured past now. Now that we've arrived, we'll replace them with a new identity and a new ideology, best suited to survive Proxima. Pilgrims of Terra, united by origin, history, and purpose. The Brotherhood will see it as a strive for freedom, the Protector's devotion to the mission, and the Church religious undertones. It will not take long at all. What do you want to do? Return to the Habitat, deliver the news. I mean, she isn't wrong. We can't land now. So she says. Do you think we'd land ourselves? What if the planet's as deadly as she thinks? I'd rather die a free man than spend another day on the ship. What do you think, Faith? If we rush into something goes wrong, this all have been for nothing. We only have one chance to do it right. I don't know. She isn't wrong, but how long do we wait? Okay. Well, alright. Oh, it's happened to me more than I'd like to admit to, Relictum. Yeah, I think we're siding with the super mutants. The robots. So let's deliver the message. The monks are tightening up the screws. It's about to get a whole lot worse. Lucky we're on the right side this time. Put in a good word for me with the monks when you get a chance. Yeah. Well, the other surprise is that we're not landing yet, Kennex Scout. Situation has changed. I'd say so. Monks are fiddling with the airflow to make us obey them. Aren't the bastards supposed to be neutral? The ship arrived long ago. It's been orbiting Proxima for years, if not decades. Founding Fathers be praised. Where are we landing? That depends on you. The monks won't land until the people are united under a new banner. Should it be our banner, mission's banner? Not necessarily. Pilgrims of Terra has a nice ring to it. Number Brotherhood, Protectors of Church. One people, united by origin, history, and purpose. Not abandon the mission. Do you really think you can stand against the Brotherhood Church and the monks? Bull crap. I could see Abraham joining this cult, but Hansen? No way. Why wouldn't he? It's the best way to put our differences aside and move forward without changing existing power structure. Why pilgrims, then? Because it's the only way it'll work. Do you want a seat in the new government or not? The executive committee will charge you with treason, I say yes. The monks prefer to deal with you. Any attempt to remove you will be seen as interference in their affairs and be dealt with harshly. Get the executive committee off my back. You have a deal. Okay. Expect to see you so soon. Situation's changed. Ship has arrived. Excellent. We've proven ourselves worthy. Our trials at end. Are they? That depends on you. Here's the new banner. So the devil is willing to sacrifice Gog and Magog to topple our church. That's one way to look at it. What's the other? 3 greatest leaders of our generation overcoming their differences to work together for the sake of mankind. So Hansen and Salz have already agreed to this. Why wouldn't they? This is the exact same argument I just gave, actually. Couldn't we form a confederation instead? Why this masquerade? We need a new brand that would work for everyone. What do the pilgrims want? To practice their faith in peace, same as you. Didn't they cross an ocean to do that? My people never accept this heresy. Tell them the ship has arrived, but the bloodthirsty natives threaten to slaughter us all. Unless we put our differences aside and unite. The last children of Terra. We have to focus on the other, you see. Pilgrims, I like it. What do the monks want now? More demands or threats? Spare me your bullcrap. Tell them what they want. Yeah, we're in Proxima. What? When do we land? Well... It's going too far. If the monks think we sit idle with a plot of destruction, Triarch William Hansen has a nice ring to it, too. Triarch? Oh my god, look at that disposition. You saying South and Abram on board? I'm surprised you haven't heard yet. Well, the farce with, what was it, Settlers and Pilgrims? It's the only way it'll work. You think people accept it? Yeah. The Brotherhood will never surrender. Damn. I knew that was the wrong choice. You've returned. I've delivered the message. Hansen still thinks he has a choice. The other two will do as you ask. Better than expected. Reduce oxygen levels by 25%. Let me know when they're ready to talk. They keep making the exact same mistake. I don't think they ever brought it back up from the original 20% drop. So, you lost a fifth, then you lost a quarter. What do you want me to do next? You can stay and oversee the dismantling of the Habitat's power structure. They will have to understand that resisting this change is not an option. The new foundation will be the only way forward. What's the other option? You can join the first landing party. Oh, man. How many people can I bring? Lander. Lander! Get me off this stupid ship! God! And so the ship remains in orbit of Proxima for the time being, with every detail of its operation now under the monks' ever-watchful eye. Joined together as the Pilgrims of Terra, the three factions struggle to put their grudges behind them. The flames of war, like any other fire, will burn out of want of oxygen. And even the embers of hate have a way of cooling when deprived of the chance to flare up. If life becomes gloomier and colder, in consequence, maybe there's a small price to pay. Over a generation or two, the Pilgrims will forget their own dogmas and will accept that freedom, faith, and mission are three faces of the same God, all looking ahead to the new world that waits below. The lander hurtles through the atmosphere, shaking and groaning, threatening to fall apart around you. The last two sputtering thrusters are on the verge of failure when somehow the lander strikes the ground. She hits hard and will never fly again, but the passengers and cargo are unharmed. The onboard computer wastes no time on establishing a link with the ship and transmitting every bit of data it can gather, while the monks disembark and start mapping out the landing site and collecting samples. The colonists are divided into 4 teams and sent to scout the surrounding area. The mission objective is simply to survive until the factory can be deployed, though any data collected will not be valued by the monks. For now, you're on your own. The once thriving frontier settlement called the Pit is a ghost town now, and the lack of breathable air ensures it will remain that way. With the ship in orbit over Proxima, the monks find it most expedient to keep the troublesome humans herded together in the habitat. Moses led the ancient Israelites in their desert exile for 40 long years. Surely the monks will bring the shipborne promised land in much less time than that. Right? The factory is the first cargo bay to be refitted to fulfill its original purpose, a process both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The once deadly gangs disperse overnight, some escaping to other decks, others press-ganged into the massive workforce, who would spend months on the project. It seemed an impossible goal, but then the reward, a real life outside the ship, used to be impossible as well. When the Vulcan at the heart of the module has been repaired, it becomes a symbol of hope and perseverance. For the first time in over a century, the shipborne have something to look forward to. When the job is done, the factory's manufacturing capability is only a third of what it used to be, but it's a damn sight better than nothing. Then one day, without ceremony or even so much as a warning klaxon, the module is sealed off and ejected from the ship along with everyone inside. The monks have already established a base on Proxima's surface. Now they require machinery and manpower. Compliance is not optional. The shuttle bay is soon transformed into another major operations hub. The vagrants are given an hour to clean out, and a new workforce of amateur engineers gets to work at repairing the ancient shuttles and fashioning new ones from parts and scrap. The new craft have a 60% success rate, a number of the monks declare within acceptable parameters. After a few short months, a fleet of one-way shuttles begins ferrying supplies and volunteers to the surface. Since the security of the landing site and its ever-growing stockpile of supplies is paramount, Nico and his militant preachers are among the first to make planetfall. With great difficulty, the monks obtain soil and water samples from the surface, and the work to adapt Terran crops for Proxima begins in earnest. Hydroponics is completely rebuilt and sealed off to avoid contamination, making it one of the most secure areas of the ship. The Red Zone is, once again, an evolutionary testing ground. The old designs revived, then tweaked in regular cycles for the struggles ahead. Proxima's desert is crawling with life. Hostile life that will consume anything straying past the outer perimeter. Unless we destroy it first. Oh, that's a damn shame, Croatia. In the Yellow Zone, the Grangers are working tirelessly, growing seedlings, training symbiotic fungi, and dispatching them to new home on the surface. Early reports haven't been encouraging, but the monks are untroubled. For them, there's plenty of time, and the work will be done eventually. Goodbye, Eva. Welcome to Proxima. You will now do this job at this place at this time, and if you don't, compliance is non-optional. Have a nice day. The old Great Mother watched over the unfolding changes with grave concern. The stability she had worked her whole life to create for her children was falling to pieces. The engines would soon be unneeded, the Covenant all but discarded, and the war in the habitat threatening to spread. Something must be done, but for now she will do what every Great Mother came before her did and keep her own counsel. It's not their way to involve the tribe in the affairs of others, and those not strong enough to bear the mark. The end. Okay, hold up. Alright, I should shut down the guessing game because we're in the endings now. Time to shut down the guessing game. Hang on. Let's go back to Earth! You're certain chances of reaching Earth are extremely low, and it's unlikely the colonists will be welcomed back or able to fit in after 8 centuries adrift in space. Back to Earth! What have you done? We're going home. What home? Oh my god, have you lost your mind? You can't land on this freak show. You call the ship on Proxima. The planet belongs to the natives, not us. Let them live in peace, because we can't. Step aside, runner. You have to go through me first. You're a frickin'... Yeah. One last fight, then we go our separate ways. Kill them all. Okay, we're dead. We are dead. Yeah, this game is on sale, as is usually true. Hang on. You must send the ship back to Earth. The voices tell you so. Is this the super optional fight you referenced, Croatia? Having to fight 2 generic monks and 3 named monks. So let's see how many turns it takes them to obliterate us. So, we're dead. Evans is dead. We haven't had a chance to move yet, by the way. Okay, Jed's dead. Faith's dead. 1 round. They killed us in 1 round. Okay, so since we can't actually see that ending, because that's just... Wow! Yeah, the voices need to send me some reinforcements. Hang on, hang on. Okay, so hang on. So then we fight them, and we fight them, and we fight them, and we fight them. That was a long freaking fight. Hang on. Okay, here we go. I'm not going to cheat. I'm just going to YouTube it. Hang on, real quick, real quick. Ava Miller, the last CTO of Starfarer, lies dead at your feet. You have enough time to seal the bridge and disappear. Who'd notice another nameless scav down on his luck? You did what you thought was right, even if it cost you everything. With a great groan that shudders through the length of the ship, the idling engines come to life. For some, it seems like a sign of the end times. For others, it's merely a mystery. But for the few who know what it means, there's only one question. Where are we going? One engine falls immediately, the strain of its reawakening proving too much, but the other 2 hold, seemingly ready to soldier on for the long journey across the darkness between stars. And so, almost reluctantly, the ship leaves its orbit and turns back towards the distant sun. The trip home will take centuries, and none of the living will ever see Earth. They're born on the ship, they'll die on the ship, chained to a fate they didn't choose. While the monks work tirelessly trying to break into the bridge and undo what you did, the Protectors seize the opportunity and storm ECLSS, rapidly overwhelming their depleted defenses. Realizing what's at stake, the Brotherhood and the Church launch a combined attack on the Protectors' enclave. The ensuing war is bloody and destructive, and with combat waging within their walls, the Protectors cannot use life support systems against the enemy. The only remaining option is old-fashioned sector-by-sector warfare, which favors the strongest. Not surprisingly, when the dust settles, the Protector is the one left standing. As the mission once reigned above all, so will it reign again, as intended. With 1 engine permanently disabled and 2 more on the verge of shutting down, the mutants are thrown into disarray. The Great Mother declares an existential emergency and demands aid from the habitat, but those good citizens are too busy killing each other to heed the call. When the bloodshed's finally finished, the Protectors begin delivering prisoners of war to be trained in the art of engine maintenance, but the increasing radiation levels make it a futile effort. The conflict in the habitat soon spills over in every direction. Too close to the war zone, the shuttle bay doesn't last long, its once formidable fortress reduced to heaps of slag. The factory falls soon after, but hydroponics still holds, the fungus proving the most potent weapon. The red zone is once again an impassable barrier, consuming all who enter it. With the Grangers' blessing, it spreads to the factory, effectively sealing off a big part of the ship from the habitat and the war. With the factory sealed off, the pit has no choice but to discard whatever ambitions its people once had and ally with hydroponics, which has become the de facto base of a new rising power. A century from now, if the ship lasts that long, the Brotherhood and the Protectors will become a thing of the past, like the ship authority before them. Different factions will fight for supremacy, and a different breed of people will roam the ship, clinging to life with tenacity and despair. The end. Or we could shut down the engines and dump everyone down right now. Let's do it. Wait, what? Oh, I guess we can't do that one. Okay, whatever. Lander. Yep. Uh-huh. Tool prep. Okay, so hang on. Apparently I had to do something with the mutants. Oh, here we go. So I could go to the engines and fight the mother, which I'm totally not built for doing. So let's do option 3. I like to call this ending the bye ending. Look, that's even a rug. You coming? I'd rather die a free man approximate than spend another day on the ship. I'll tag along too. Nothing's holding me here. Okay, so bye. The lander hurtles through the atmosphere, shaking and groaning, threatening to land, blah, 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 blah. So, the onboard computer does stuff. Waste no time in establishing a link with the ship and transmitting every bit of data it can gather. Responding to a request for water and ore extractors, the ship jettisons the cargo hold that contains the factory, causing widespread panic in the process and sending it down to the surface. None of this wholly as dignified as the founding fathers imagined, but it'll have to do. You've won a foothold in Proxima Centauri, and a manifest destiny lies once more before the human race. Nothing new there. It is a ghost town. The factory's abrupt departure leaves the monks without an industrial base, crippling their plans to restore the old machinery and forcing them to turn their attention to the shuttle bay. The vagrants are given out to clear out. Nothing in here. There. The end! That's not as different as I was hoping, considering I just was like, bye! Alright, hang on. So, if we do the other ending, I'm gonna have to find the other ending. Hang on. So that's, why would there be a good ending to a video game? Don't be ridiculous. Bowser just wanted to put on a rock concert, okay? I agree with everything. I agree with everything. Okay. There it is. Quest for Freedom. That's the one. Here we go. Oh, there's no... Also, we need to kill monks for this ending, so we can't do this anyways. Like, we can't kill anything. We couldn't kill a fly right now. Damn, I don't see an ending thing. In fact, when I Google colony ship, one of the top results is my playthrough. That's a damn shame. Okay, so I'm not sure what the other ending is. The end. I killed the voices, Melkor Blade. I killed them all! We did! I need to hurry up and finish the audit and everything now. That's not the song I wanted. I want a slightly different song. It is very appropriate for what we're going for. Here, that's what I wanted. We did it! Okay, here we go. Yeah! I mean, I could go through the whole thing again, Eleazar, but I'm very doubtful that there's any change in the situation. Let me finish the audit first. And yes, this is a Mario song. What? Mario's always rocked. It's a good story, Asmara Star. Well written, well designed, well routed. Acknowledges itself. This is gameplay. This will 100% get the coffee tag. I have thought of a negative. Negative to outro. I'm not impressed with those endings. They're very threadbare, and it really feels like the whole thing was just kind of racing at the end. Oh, actually, you know what? Another negative over there. Yeah, it was extremely abrupt. Not all of them know Dakota. Which is why I've been giving encounter pluses per zone. There, though. Yep, today's the day we play Silent Hill 2. Almost there. We're almost done with games I'm dreading. Oh, jeez, yeah. I didn't realize they lost someone mid-stride. That's awful. By the way, the boss fight that's the song this is for is just a really, really good boss fight. I'm just saying. Not at all, no, Linerith. No, Silent Hill 2 is a horror game. Yeah, it kind of feels like there was supposed to be another chapter there, which makes sense if there literally was. Guess I want to get it over with for Lipton. And it's longer, which is the other reason. But the get it over with thing is the more important thing. Probably not, Mr. Red, no. Okay. Yeah, you thought I was joking when I said Dishonored 2 was pushed back about a week. I'm not joking. It's going to be about next week. Yeah, we need to get all the depression out of the way right up front. And you can also just not support me, Eleazar. That is a legitimate and valid option, don't forget. Yeah, but Dishonored 2 will be a big gameplay game, so that'll help. Hey, Federation Builder. What's up? Mario Wonder. I would also say Dishonored 2 doesn't really bother me, depression-wise or bleak-wise. I forget why, but some Yahoo also insisted my last review of it was inaccurate or incorrect for some really, really dumb reason. I don't even remember what the reason is anymore. There's something extremely stupid. It was like the guy who said my lore run of FF8 was invalid because I never mentioned the fact that Cypher's cloak was getting more battered throughout the course of the game. No, Relictum. I've never played Silent Hill 2. It is a cool detail that I didn't feel the need to even point out. Oh. It's taking me so long, we're running out of song. Okay, fine. You know what? Screw it. Let's go back to the other song. It's appropriate, right? There we go. Yeah! This is the Colony Ship theme song right here. Oh man, that Baldur's Gate 3 review? Completely invalid. I don't like horror games, Relictum. I never have. So. Because A, I don't like that song very much, Elizar. B, I don't have it handy. And C, I'm pretty sure that's copywronged. It's a good question, actually, Dakota. I don't know. I love murdering my wife. Sorry. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't do that, because that's kind of a dick move. It's Silent Hill 2, of course I know everything about the story. Cultural osmosis is a real thing. Like asking, do I know the plot of KOTOR 1? Well, okay, that's a bad example. Skyrim, there we go. Or Metal Gear Solid 1, that's another good example. But you're right, I shouldn't discuss it on camera, because it is actually a spoiler. So I apologize. But yeah, we made it, Savacom! 80 years ago! That's true of Valibaldo. But for games, so for me personally, for games I know with near total certainty I'm never going to play, I don't actively go out of my way to avoid spoilers. I mean, honestly, if not for the show, I would never play Silent Hill 2, so... And I know plenty of people who don't know spoilers for Final Fantasy games, or for Star Trek shows, or for Star Trek movies, or Star Wars movies, or all kinds of stuff. It's one of the reasons I try to have that no unrelated spoilers rule, which I do slip on it periodically. I do apologize for that. Because, like, the argument that I've heard a bajillion trillion times is that, oh, how dare you spoil something that's 30 years old, is one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard in my life. The idea that age magically makes something acceptable to spoil is extremely stupid, because it automatically presumes that someone has just naturally already either played or watched or is aware of or discussed or otherwise, you know, engaged with a specific work. Completely ignoring the fact that A, some people haven't actually gotten around to playing or watching that work yet, and B, some people, I know this is going to sound strange, aren't as old as you are. Shocking, I know. is this song? Oh. Yeah, exactly, Blade Duel. Like, I try not to be a dick about the no spoilers thing, because I know those people exist too, who insist that you can't talk about a thing at all, or even mention it, or whatever. But, like, Rule 0 applies, right? Just don't be a dick. Boom, we're good. If I just suddenly was like, it was his sled in the middle of nowhere, that's just me being a dick. I don't know how many people are watching this now, live, who have never been aware of the fact that it was his sled, or how many people watch the VOD who didn't know that it was his sled, right? It's basic common courtesy. Yes, we're playing Silent Hill 2 next. I hope you like horrifying Death Doom. Excuse me, Bowser's rocking out. Now, obviously, if someone says, I don't care about spoilers or whatever, that's a little different. No, it's fine, Crush. It's a really good game. It's half off right now, if anybody wants it. I know 2 people personally, as in person, who never had console games when they grew up. So they haven't played Mario's, Mega Man's, Zelda's, Final Fantasies, right? I'm going to stop there, but you get the idea, right? Like, that's a gargantuan chunk of gaming history that they just never experienced. I'm not going to mention things like, for example, my niece, who obviously wasn't alive back then, and so hasn't been exposed to that stuff yet. Yeah, no Metroids, no Metal Gear Solids, no GTAs, no nothing. We'll see, Kennex Cow. Elizar, please be patient. I know that you want me to hurry. It's okay. I want me to hurry, too, because I want to finish in time for lunch. Because I have a crap ton of paper to do, and I'm basically going to have to not take a lunch break today to get this all done. However, I'm going to tell you with 99% certainty right now that I haven't gotten jack from you. I'll tell you right now. Saturday. Yeah, exactly, Lene Ruth. Oh my god, Croatia, that's bonkers. Okay, gameplay. What's funny is I gave this game quite a few All Roads Leads to Rome's positives. It actually lags a bit behind some of the other games we've given All Roads Leads to Rome, including Age of Decadence. Hell, I myself missed out on the PS2 generation because that's when I was not doing well. So, you know, there's plenty of PS2 games I've never played. You lie, Ross. Oh, this game is going to score very well. This might beat Warhammer 3 for our top rating coffee game. What is our best rated coffee game right now, if you don't mind checking? Anybody feels like doing that. Okay, I figured it was Total Warhammer. No surprise. Hades is 125. Crashes. Are you just not reading chat, Elizar? I know people have already answered you. In fact, Melkorblade just answered you in chat. I mean, I didn't enjoy Baldur's Gate 3 that much, to be honest with you. I think DOS 2 is overall a better game. Don't mistake me. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a good game, just not that great of a game. Hey, Trek Reviewer. Baldur's Gate 3 is a lot better now. I can prove that because I've actually been playing through it in my co-op group every Tuesday night. Oh man, DOS 2 is just so good. I know. It has one huge problem, and I understand completely. It's the walkthroughitis. I will freely admit that when I did my last co-op playthrough of Baldur's Gate, of DOS 2, which was just a few months ago, actually, I was the guide. I was dragging the other players around by the nose, because I knew what was where. It is the biggest flaw of that game, and it's a damn shame, because I know several people who probably would enjoy it, who can't get into it because they need a second tab open to figure out what is where. I mean, it's a big game, Bregman. How, Mr. Red? Radiant MSQ. I'll one-up you. Radiant AI generated MSQ. Yeah, that's gonna happen someday. You know it is. At the moment, I'm a barbarian. I'm going to switch to ranger. I've already told my friends that. So I want to try out the new ranger subclass. We are about to rescue the deep gnomes in the Underdark, right before we go to the big factory area, the smelting pit optional boss. Yes, Elizar. If it bothers you that much, I can stop it. We're actually doing a super hard honor mode. We have a mod to make an even harder version of honor mode. So yes, is the answer to your question. We have cranked it above hardest. That's part of why it's taken us so long. Every battle is something that takes us about half the night to go through. No joke. It's fun. proper hard mode. It gives a lot. It changes a lot of the AI scripting and gives a lot of new abilities to enemies. We also have kind of a soft rule of not reloading very often. So if we have a particularly bad screw up, we will reload, but generally we don't. Oh yeah, Blades Ball. I think that's it. A mere plus 36 to gameplay. Jesus, this is going to score well. Yes, actually, we almost killed it. First round. Almost. We came very close. It's funny you say that actually is our D&D night group, Roman group. All of us, none of us had the time or brain power to actually GM anymore, so we switched to playing a 5th edition game. I can't think of the name of it. It was very generic and honestly not very good. And then I suggested Baldur's Gate 3 as our next game. Think of the name of the game. That's how generic it was. Alright, how about some math? I likes me some math. Where's our CRPGs? Where's our CRPGs? That's actually a good question. Does anybody in chat right now who has the pop-up button, basically, does anybody who ever shares a sub have ad block on? C-O, there it is. I'll say, I doubt it too, because I imagine most of you have ad block. By the way, if you don't have ad block, you probably should. Yeah, but Eleazar's using Firefox, just like I am. Who would use Chrome? No offense if you use Chrome. Crazy person. Alright, yes, I did, Ross, and it made me laugh more than it probably should. Good density and good ratios. And good gameplay. This has more gameplay positives than Baldur's Gate 3 does at launch. I stand by that, by the way. Cookies shouldn't do anything. In our co-op game of Baldur's Gate 3, Will is completely useless. I'm not even joking. He can't hit anything to save his life, and he can't succeed at any skill check. I think, and this is not an exaggeration, I think the total amount of times he's contributed to combat is 3 in the entire game so far. He's... God, we just keep making fun of him. He's just a warlock. We haven't changed him around. He just has the worst dice luck in the universe. And with that, let's give the final numbers here. So, Colony Ship. Plus 24 to story. That is 1.5 pluses per hour, which is really good. By the way, this is a 17-hour game. So, 1.5 pluses per hour. And a ratio of 92%, which is actually extremely high. In fact, that is tied for a new highest story ratio with Age of Decadence. Okay, here, I'll change the music. I'm sorry. Man, let me get something a little bit more accurate. Where was that? We'll get the final boss scene. There we go. Pull that back. Maybe? There we go. Ahem. So, yeah. That's an extremely high ratio and extremely... In fact, Age of Decadence and Colony Ship both have the highest story density of any CRPGs we've covered. The only thing that comes close is Dragon Age Origins. Gameplay. Obviously, DOS 2 is absolutely destroying everything in the gameplay category, but plus 36 puts it in the number 2 slot, right behind Baldur's Gate 3, or excuse me, right in front of Baldur's Gate 3. That is 2 pluses per hour, which again is a very high density, and a ratio of 91%, which is a very high ratio, giving us a final golden number of... Can I get a drum roll, please? Temp. 100. Where's the guesses? Let's see if we can get those here. 78.97. That doesn't actually quite beat Baldur's Gate 3's old score, but it comes surprisingly close to it. That also means it ekes right above Total Warhammer 3 for our new highest coffee game. By like 1. It's a good game. It's a very good game. It's half off right now, if you're interested. It is extremely bleak. Like, legitimately depression warning, trigger warning bleak. But it is an extremely good game. I am actually honestly surprised. I put this... No offense, Croatia. One of the reasons I put this so far forward in the list is because I was scared of this game walking into it. Because I remember Age of Decadence and how much that game beat my teeth in. So... Disco Elysium? Whoa. I don't know if that's a modern review. I don't know if that's after the Oblivion line. No, the short duration absolutely boosts the score. You know I value density, and I stand by that. For many reasons. Yeah, Disco Elysium was actually before the Oblivion line. So the answer to your question, Linearith, is I don't know. Mr. Red, you won the guessing game. So that's going towards Shadow Heart's event. WoW Patch Within, and WoW Midnight. Next up, we're playing Silent Hill 2. After the lunch break. I have a lot of paperwork to do on the lunch break. Whoa. As I often do, honestly. I have no idea how well Silent Hill 2 is going to review. We'll see.